What is good, guys? In today's video, I'm just gonna be breaking down like my top 5 VSTs for 2020. I feel like if you have like one or two of these VSTs, if you just like cop one or two of these VSTs, you'll be able to make like really fire beats, and like it's gonna be all that you really need. So yeah, I'm just gonna be breaking down each VST, why I like it, the pros and cons of it, and yeah, let's do it. Alright, so in FL, I just have this like MIDI loaded up that I made, and I'm just gonna be using it like to preview the sounds from each VST. For the first one, I don't know if you guys know what one-shot kits are, but they aren't really VSTs. They're kind of like drum kits, but they're with instruments, so it's basically like a VST. And you don't have to get mine. Obviously, I feel like mine is the best that's out, but you could get any one-shot kit. I think Bass One and Pilgrim have a very good one too. I've used theirs, but mine's pretty good as 300 sounds. It's basically instrument recordings of synths and like real instruments, but that are put in like waveforms, so it's like a drum kit, but you could just drag in the sounds and use them. So basically you just like pick a sound, and then like once you pick a sound, you want to play with the envelopes and like play with these knobs right here, and then you can just play it. Alright, so one con to these is that like the note lengths are kind of different. So sometimes they don't sound as good as VSTs. So one fix that I do is I like to add reverb to them, and I'll just like you could use Fruity Reverb or any reverb plugin, and that always makes them sound good. And then I also just like the layer sounds like. And then you could just copy and paste the melody. Yeah, and that sounds fire. That sounds like really good, like a VST. And all these sounds are meant for hip hop producers to use, because like sometimes when you use a VST, the sounds are like for like pop or like dubstep or like just like weird. They're just like weird, unusable sounds, but all these sounds are meant for like hip hop or pop production, so they're all usable. Oh, and my next plugin, which is an actual plugin this time, is Contact, and Contact is like really fire. What I like to use it for is real instruments. They have lots of libraries. You just gotta go online and search up libraries. I'm gonna show you guys all my libraries. These are all my libraries right here. You guys could just like copy these and type them into Google, and then you can find them. I would say like this one like right here is probably one of my favorites. It has like lots of real instrument sounds, and I like to use this. I like to use Contact with my one-shot kit. I'll use Contact for like the real instrument sounds. Then I'll use the one-shots for like keys, bells, synths. That's kind of my formula for like making melodies. But yeah, Contact's fire. This is like a fire guitar library. Evolution of Steel Strings. If you guys like want realistic guitars, this is a good library. While that's loading, one thing I want to say is the main downside to this is that it's like pretty expensive. All the libraries are pretty expensive, so if you have a budget, I would say this probably isn't the VST for you. I'm gonna show you guys some other VSTs that are a little cheaper, but I definitely say it as the best sounding real instruments. So yeah, that's like the pros and cons for it. Alright, so it wasn't playing some of the notes from the MIDI, I think, because some of them are too high. Some of them are too high up for the guitar, for the plugin, but yeah, you guys could hear that sounds pretty realistic. Like the actual sound of it is pretty realistic. So yeah, Contact's really fire. I'd recommend getting that. Okay, so now I'm gonna give you guys like a nice budget plugin that's really solid. I think usually this is like $100, but I got it for $5. Like I feel like every few months they put it on sale, and you can just get it for dirt cheap. They have like fire pads, really fire pads. Yeah, and then one thing I like is they have like real instrument sounds, kind of like Contact. Obviously, they're not as good as Contact, but they're pretty solid for making samples. They have strings. All these are really fire. Brass and woodwind is fire too. This section right here is fire. This ocarina sound is kind of like a flute. Yeah, that's fire. Then they have like basses. I like to use their basses too. And then they have mallets. So yeah, this is a really solid plugin. I'd definitely recommend getting it if you're new to producing. Obviously, I think one shots are better, but you know, this is fire too. My next plugin is Analog Lab from Arturia. This is basically like a collection of all their like synth VSTs. They have separate synth plugins, but I think that's kind of expensive. So I think this is like a cheaper option. But basically they have all these like synth sounds. It's like a collection of synth sounds from all their VSTs, and it has tons of presets. I say the one con to this is that a lot of the presets are like unusable, or they're like way too loud and they'll hurt your ears, so you just gotta be careful. But they do have some fire synth sounds. Yeah, it takes a while to find like good presets, but it's pretty solid. I definitely recommend getting it. I use it a lot for sample making. My last plugin, you guys obviously know what this is. It's Omnisphere, but I'd say like definitely what has to be my favorite part of Omnisphere is Keyscape Creative, and I think you have to buy this separately, but I really think it's worth it. It has all these keyboard sounds that are fire, and obviously you guys already know what Omnisphere is, but like if you don't have it, I definitely recommend copying it. It's like basically the best plugin that you guys could get, even though it's kind of expensive. Yeah, so they have fire key sounds in Keyscape Creative. Another section I also like, which is just for making samples, is Ethnic World. Yeah, this one right here. It has like these fire kalimba sounds, and I use it a lot. Yeah, so that section's really fire, and also Keyscape has some fire pianos. I obviously use all these pianos a lot, and yeah. Alright guys, so that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you guys found some cool plugins that you guys could use to make fire beats, and yeah, that's enough for this video. Peace out.